The ability to see the beauty and usefulness of math is essential for enjoyment and success of the learner. Good day! I am Elymar A. Pascual from Talangan Integrated National High School. With me is Dr. Nilda V. San Miguel of Lumban Central Elementary School, Laguna, Philippines. The title of our study is Math Appreciation, Exploring the Antidote for Math Anxiety. Much has been said and studied about math anxiety, providing hindrance to learners on achieving academic proficiency, and math appreciation is seen to be the antidote in this case. It is the sum of the affirmative attitude of learners in dealing with math-related concepts, the way they embrace cooperative learning in class, their positive response to the challenges, and the way they apply into practical life the numeracy skills they learned in the four corners of the classroom. Several studies have already been conducted that point out that math appreciation of learners has connection to academic performance. Nevertheless, such studies were not able to specify sources of math boredom or, to higher extent, math anxiety. This study was thus conducted to investigate sources of math boredom, ways to raise math appreciation, and strategies to sustain interest among learners. According to Balmaceda of 2020, mathematics appreciation of learners has something to do with the competence and attitude of the teacher. When the teacher exhibits care of the learners and mastery of the subject matter, walls are being broken down not only with the subject itself, but also between disciplines that has connection with mathematics. And with the positive attitude of learners gained from a competent and caring teacher, the built foundations of learners are become useful in acquiring mathematics skills both in the old normal, new normal, and now normal of education. With the use of an intervention called Math Island, the study made by Ye and others in 2019 revealed that when interest in mathematics is high, learners do perform well in solving word problems. This is true even for low-achieving learners who have been exposed to Math Island. Their performance is significantly higher than those students who have not been exposed to the intervention. And when the interest in mathematics of those who have been exposed to the intervention was measured, it was also revealed that both low-achieving and high-achieving students maintained high level of interest to the subject and to the system compared to those not exposed with the intervention. This study explored on the sources of math boredom. Specifically, it sought to answer the following qualitative questions. What are some possible sources of math boredom among learners? What interventions do teachers implemented so as to raise math appreciation among their learners? How does the academic performance before the intervention and after the intervention compare with each other? What is the role of math appreciation to the performance of learners in mathematics? What can be done by the school and community for learners' math appreciation to be sustained as learners advance from one grade level or key stage to a higher one? And as to the educational system, what changes and development can be done to secure high level of math appreciation in the next generations to come? Out of 150 teachers from 9 schools, there were 45 teachers who responded in an online survey containing the qualitative questions. And from these 45 teachers, 8 were purposely chosen to be part of the focus group discussion in order to clarify their answers, allow them to explain their answers in an online survey question, and encourage them to share deeper insights on the topic under study. Qualitative data gathered from online survey were harvested, sorted as to question item, and were treated with word cloud generator. Words that are frequently appearing were analyzed as to their connection to ideas and their association with other words. Clarification of the thoughts and ideas were checked across or against the transcription from the focused group discussion. Word clouds were generated in connection to frequently appearing words from the responses obtained to every questions. With the word clouds and the responses from the focus group discussion, themes were developed that represent patterns of thoughts and ideas regarding the topic being investigated. What are some possible sources of math boredom among learners? Lack of facility or connectivity, lack of interest, lack of understanding the lesson, lack of understanding of unfamiliar words like wage, lack of materials, lack of engaging activities, and also lack of basic knowledge on fundamental operations. What interventions do teachers implemented so as to raise math appreciation among their learners? Number one is games. Other terms equivalent to this that also appear in the responses are game-based learning and recreational activities. Second is activities. Participants specify this by writing differentiated, engaging, interactive, and modified activities for least learned competencies. Third is peer assistance or peer tutoring. Learners are able to move their own pace and understanding if assisted by peers. Fourth is accessible materials. Example of this is video clip. Several respondents mentioned about Project Lumban, localized undertaking through mobile video attachment in New Normal, which is one of the continuous improvement projects of the Lumban district. Last is cooperative and experiential learning. When learners are exposed to what is happening to the real world and they themselves are involved in the process, their math appreciation is likely to be raised. The table highlights the difference of math academic performance of learners in terms of NPS without and with the consideration of learners' math appreciation. Using t-tests for dependent samples, it can be seen that the computed t-value is 3.112499 is higher than the critical value 2.306. This leads to the decision that there is a significant difference between the academic performance of learners with and without the consideration of learners' math appreciation. This is supported by the p-value 0.01439, which is lower than the alpha value 0.05. With 95% level of confidence, it can be said that there is enough evidence to claim that there is significant difference in the NPS of learners with and without the consideration of math appreciation. That is, learners perform better when learners' math appreciation is in mind than when learners' math appreciation is not being considered. What is the role of math appreciation to the performance of learners in mathematics? Number 1. A driving force for learning. No additional motivation is needed for learners to focus if they are interested about the subject. Number 2. Change of perception in mathematics. Math anxiety and math boredom arises, for one reason, because of student factor. With proper mindset, learners don't need to be afraid of this subject. Number 3, building confidence and other positive attitudes. When learners have a positive outlook of the subject, they tend to be patient, respectful of teachers and others as well. Number 4, nurturing problem solving and critical thinking skills. As learners start to appreciate the nature of math subject, their enjoyment will turn into enhancement of problem solving and critical thinking skills. And number 5, acquisition of ability needed for everyday life. Aside from their everyday life having math being applied in their individual tasks, they are also to become an effective workforce in our country, workforce who face challenges in a positive way. What can be done by the school and community for learners' math appreciation to be sustained as learners advance from one grade level or key stage to a higher one? For the support of the school, the top suggestion is remedial class, while others mention provision of interesting, contextualized learning activities, formulation of clubs or programs catering to different numeracy levels, and putting signages in school about math. For the support of community, a sample project mentioned in the responses is the Numbers on Wheels, which is an initiative of teachers supported by the local government, a project of delivering math instructional materials to households. Other participants mentioned community math camp or quiz bee spearheaded by the school with the collaboration of community officials. Other community support appeals to the basic institution, the family, that they be as teacher, extension at home, teaching and assisting learners on their task. As to the educational system, what changes and development can be done to secure high level of math appreciation in the next generations to come? First, focus on learners and learning, not on adding too many competencies. Second, focus on teaching, not on adding too many clerical works. Third, focus on basic arithmetic on key stage 1. Fourth, focus on learners having academic problem, not on already academically inclined. Fifth, focus on mathematics by lessening subject areas. Sixth, revisiting spiral curriculum. Learners progress little by little, but with retention is suggested. Seventh, provision of additional seminars that will deal on the use of technology-based teaching and seminars on effective delivery of the basics. The system tends to give emphasis more on the upward move of the stages of learning, neglecting the very foundation. There needs to be an additional seminar or training for those teaching the foundation. Math teachers should expose the students to different types of real-life math application so that they can understand the various aspects of math in everyday life. They should make an effort to connect math concepts to the real world. Students are more likely to understand and appreciate math if they can see how it is used in everyday life. Math coordinators should initiate projects like Make Math Fun with hands-on projects. The goal of this was to take a math game and make it more interesting for students by adding a hands-on element to it. Department of Education higher officials should review the spiral curriculum if it is serving the purpose of having the learners attain high numeracy skills. Looking into the data of the previous school years can be the basis of evaluation, and through them, action plan can be drafted so as to remediate in this time of blended learning. Curriculum developers should design activities in which students will be given more opportunity to investigate mathematical concepts in the real world. Through this, learners will be more likely to engage in and retain the lessons. Math plays an important role in students' performance, both in the classroom and in everyday life. Love of math and a strong inner motivation are essential for success. However, many students struggle with math anxiety and lack of confidence. It is widely accepted that math is a critical subject for students to learn. What is often neglected is the importance of appreciation for the role math plays in our lives. Math appreciation is the understanding and enjoyment of the beauty and power of mathematics. It is the ability to see the world around us and the universe itself in a mathematical way. Math appreciation is a way of looking at the world that can be enjoyed by anyone, regardless of whether they are good at math or not. Once again, I am Elymar A. Pascual with my co-author Dr. Nilda V. San Miguel. Thanks for watching, keep safe, and God bless.